Hey guys, it is the beginning of May and I haven't needed them yet, but I can pretty much guarantee you that some of the lawn equipment that you're seeing in this introduction will be used by the time this video goes live. Follow along and I'll see if I can get some of my summertime equipment fired up and running. Thanks for watching. I think we'll go with the what should be the easy one. We've got this two-stroke Still weed whacker that I picked up last year. It is an FS38. It has never had anything but the good pre-mixed fuel in it, so I imagine it's just a matter. I just filled up the tank and we'll give it a few squirts on the primer. Put the choke on, the kill switch to run, and let's see what it does. Well, that went about as well as I was expecting it to. It fired right up and ran good. That's one of the big advantages to using the decent fuel that doesn't go bad. Unfortunately, this Troy-Bilt, we're not so lucky. This is a Troy-Bilt 590 EC. It is a 4-stroke, which means it actually needs to have oil in it. And it looks like it's a little on the low side. Let me see if I can find a bottle of oil we can dump a little bit in. I've taken the cut head off of this, and it says that we're supposed to put, or check it on a level, and it's supposed to be at the bottom of the plug, which means level, and at the bottom of the fill port. And it's not there. We're not down a whole lot. And I've got some 10W30 Quaker State synthetic, which, let's face it, is far better oil than should be dumped into this. But it's what I'm able to find. Dumping in better oil than is necessary is a better idea than not dumping good stuff in at all. And if I hold the machine level, a little bit of oil comes trickling out, so I think we'll call that good enough. We do have some fuel in it. And it does smell like gas. It's not great gas, but it does smell like gas. Bring the primer bulb seems to work. Put the cut head back on just so that it's easier to control things. We're in the run position. Pull the throttle open and choke is on. Let's see what it does. Which is kind of what I was expecting. We'll pull the cover off here, open the choke. We'll give it a little bit of the good stuff. Right down the throat. Now we'll see if it fires. certainly is burning some oil. I'm not sure where that oil's coming from. Maybe mixed fuel in this thing. Looks like it's straight gas to me. Maybe we didn't need to add any extra oil to it. Certainly is blowing lots of blue smoke. I've run it a little bit. Doesn't seem to be puking oil out of the exhaust quite like it was. Let me fire it back up here and I'll show you guys what it's doing. And one thing I do know is I think we got to rev it up just a little bit more. As soon as you let off on the throttle, the thing falls on its face and dies. That's the appropriate screwdriver. Okay, now the kill switch on this one is spring loaded to the run position. Oh, it certainly revs it up a lot more than it was. Yeah. And we're right around the point where the clutch is going to grab or not grab. At least it doesn't quit when they let off on the throttle now. That's the main thing. Definitely this thing is going to need a little bit of TLC on the blade. It's basically a bunch of chainsaw teeth riveted to a circular saw blade. So it should be fairly straightforward to put a bit of an edge on it. Let me take it apart. We'll put it on the table here and I'll grab a file. I'll bring you back in a minute when I'm all set to start working on it. I suspect that sharpening chainsaws is kind of along the lines of welding in YouTube land. It's one of those things that you don't want to do unless you're willing to accept a whole bunch of criticism. But this isn't really a chainsaw, so. Okay, that's all the way around for that side. Now we need to flip it over and do the other direction. Well, that's appears to be better than it was. Let me put this thing back together. We'll take it out in the backyard. There's a little bit of shrubbery that I'd like to knock down just to get rid of it. And we'll give this a try. When I tried it earlier, it was basically burning through the wood. So anything's better than that. Let's see how it works. I'm sure at one time this was nice shrubbery, but now it's just kind of a straggly mess that makes cutting my lawn a royal pain. Now, this brush saw obviously isn't going to do anything about the roots, and you can see that there's some fairly substantial base to some of this stuff, but let's knock what we can off of here. And I've got a tool that I'm going to be picking up hopefully in the next month or so that'll come along and help clean up the rest of this. Well, I think that saw blade needs another bit of TLC. It's not doing a very good job of cutting. It's definitely better than it was, but still a long ways to go. But we got the job done that we wanted to do. Obviously these roots are going to need cleaning up so that it's easy to just run the lawnmower over this area. I'm seeing some things I wasn't aware of, like a garden hose fitting. I'm not sure what that's all about. I knew this stake was here. Don't know what it was for. It doesn't seem to want to easily come out of there. It's almost like there's something buried down on the bottom end of it. Over here we've got another pipe. No idea what that's all about. But I do know that at one time all this area out here was garden, and so there may have been some watering apparatus set up to help with gardening. But I think we'll call that a qualified success. Thing's definitely running. The blade needs a little bit more detail sharpening to get it so that it buzzes through these small twigs easier. Next item on our spring preparations here is the John Deere L110 riding lawnmower. There's a few videos that I did on this when I first inherited it last summer, and it's been a pretty reliable machine. You know, this has been in the family since it was new, so I'm reasonably familiar with it. Was my father's before he gave it to me, and it's been a good, reliable machine, but it's always been a little bit grumpy about starting first thing in the spring. What happens is the fuel drains back into the tank from the carburetor, and it's a little grumpy about repriming the system. So probably what we're going to end up having to do is put a little bit of air pressure in that fuel cap. I've got an idea I'll show you in a few minutes if that's necessary. Yeah, I know it's a Fram oil filter. Get over it. Check the oil. Well, hard to tell. Looks to me like we're a little bit low. Yeah, we're down close to the add line. I think I'm running 10W30 Rotella T4 in this. It's good for the flat tappet style cam, and I'll have to grab a jug of that to top up the oil. 236 hours is when this oil filter was put on. We're 246 hours on it right now. I think it's safe to say that this machine is going to be just fine. Only having 10 hours of use on this oil. We're going to run it as is. Let me get some more oil into this thing, and I'll bring you guys back, and we'll see if it's going to start without putting any fancy air pressure into the fuel tank. Okay, oil's topped up. Let's see if it's got enough juice in the battery to turn over and start. Well, it definitely has enough to turn over all right, but it should have fired by that point with the choke on. I'm going to guess we got to put a little bit of air pressure in that tank. Let me go grab my Bauer cordless compressor and see if that's got enough to do the job. This should go fairly easily. In the past, what I've done is used like a portable air pig. Oh, gas tank's almost full, that's good. And just shoved the air hose and rag down in there, but I don't have a rag handy, but I do happen to have a glove. Let's see if using this, whatever they call them, vinyl glove is enough of a seal that we can get some pressure built. Nope. We'll give that a try. the battery's dead. I don't know how well this is going to work. I don't think there's a lot of juice in it. Let's see. That certainly has promise. Let me get everything all disconnected and we'll see if this thing's going to back out. While we're here and getting things ready to go, let's give front suspension a little shot of grease. We've got kingpins on both sides. We're going to need grease, and then back of the wheels there's a kind of an axle shaft fitting. And it's forcing its way out the back. That's got this side done. Look at the other side. I gotta say that all three of those repairs went much easier than I was expecting them to. This has been pretty painless getting things ready to go for the summer. You know, obviously we could check belts and check air pressure on the tires, but everything seems to be working just fine. All that was gone through 10 hours ago when I first inherited this machine, so I think we'll be in good shape for this summer. You know, obviously if you're putting hundreds of hours on one of these machines every year, you're going to have to do a little bit more work preventive maintenance wise, but I'm happy with where I'm at with this right now. So thanks a lot for stopping by. If you got this far, maybe give one of those thumb up things, and we'll catch you guys in the next mess. Oh, hey, if you haven't already done so, maybe consider subscribing, maybe ring that bell icon, and that way you'll get alerted when I put out more content, which is pretty well every Sunday.